Well, it's still nice to be riding in November. It is pretty cold out and rainy out, but why not? Get out while we can. So I'm on my way to work, and watching a video the other day. I actually wanted to try to get this up sooner, but I've been a little under the weather. But I was watching a video the other day by Giantmidgetmoto. He was doing a motovlog on handguns, conceal carry. And I was just curious on people's thoughts on whether or not you carry, whether or not your state allows it, whether or not you consider it personally. I personally carry. When I moved here, my state allows it. And I went through the handgun safety course, and it is legal, and I understand proper usage, when you're supposed to, when you're allowed to draw your handgun, fire your handgun, things like that. There's a misconception that people have that if you have a permit and you carry, you can shoot somebody if they try to rob you or something like that, and that's actually not true. Handgun is for personal protection, which just means that if you feel your life is in danger, and there is no alternative to avoid that danger, then pulling your handgun and using it, then that's when it would be an appropriate time to take it to that level. Fortunately, this is kind of a sign of the time. When I was growing up, I grew up in DOD school systems, which is Department of Defense school systems. I grew up on military bases. And every base that I went to, we had fire drills. And they had fire drills all the time. And it was just, everybody knows what a fire drill is for. Practice proper and safe exiting of a building in the case of a fire and the alarm goes off. When you're children, conditioning is the best way to do that, because you're not always completely focused on the situation at hand. And that's what we did back then. We had tornado drills and things like that. Like, back in the 50s and 60s, they did bombing drills. But recently on the news I was watching, I don't remember what channel it was or anything like that. Whoa, look over here. But I was watching and they were talking about how, at least in this area, they're thinking about implementing a shooting drill where if or when there is a shooting in the school, kids know what to do, how to react, where to go. That's just a sign of the time. It happens. That's reality. As much as I don't like to watch the news, because it can be completely horrible sometimes, that's the truth is out there. Sounds like Xbox. But I carry for personal protection, and I conceal carry because I don't like to draw attention to the the fact that I'm carrying. I'm not trying to do it as any kind of a statement.
You talking to me?
Or I don't think that necessarily would scare somebody so they won't try to inflict harm on you or something like that. I think that actually draws attention to you and can potentially make you a target. For somebody who wants a handgun and can't get a handgun, well, you have one that's available for the taking as long as they're willing enough to take it and they think that they can win in that conversation. So I can still carry. I'm not allowed to carry at work because there's a no handgun policy on the property, which is another thing that a lot of people don't fully understand is just because you have the right to carry in your state doesn't mean you have the right to carry everywhere in your state. So that's it. Have a good day. Just to finish my thought earlier, what I meant by not being able to carry everywhere in your state, it just means that if you're in a retail establishment, you have to observe their policies as far as whether or not you're allowed to carry on the property. Pretty much every movie theater in the United States has a sticker on the door, a handgun on it with a line through it, and it is against the law to carry on property that disallows possession of a firearm, so something to think about. Oh, you're turning in? I turn signal, dick.